Now in this lesson we're looking at using scale. Now let's firstly consider the scale 1 to 500. Now this means that 1 centimetre on the drawing represents 500 centimetres in actual length. So 1 to 500 means 1 centimetre on the drawing, 500 centimetres in real life. Okay, so drawing compared to the real length. Now if we write that down, 1 centimetre to 500 centimetres, this can also be written as 1 centimetre to 5 metres, where we've simply changed the 500 centimetres and rewritten it as 5 metres. So 1 to 500, our original scale, can also be written as 1 centimetre is to 5 metres. Now similarly, if we consider the scale 5 centimetres to 1 kilometre, right, and that sort of scale might be used on a map of a town or city. So 1 kilometre though equals 1,000 metres, we know that, but if we multiply that by 100 to change metres to centimetres, we come up with 100,000 centimetres. So we've really got that 5 centimetres to 1 kilometre can also be written 5 centimetres there, but the 1 kilometre in centimetres will write as 100,000 centimetres. So we look at those two numbers, the 5 and the 100,000, and think, how could we break that down? Well, if we divide both by 5, firstly the 5, divide that by 5, we get 1. Then the 100,000 divided by 5, we get 20,000. So original scale, 5 centimetres is to 1 kilometre, can also be written as 1 to 20,000. Right, we would say they are equivalent scales. Let's look at doing now some examples. Question 1. Find the real distance between towns A and B which measures 9 centimetres apart on a map with a scale of 1 to 50,000. So we can see here the scale factor is 50,000. So the real distance, well, it's 9 centimetres on the map, so we write equals 9 centimetres to start with, then we multiply by that factor. So we multiply by 50,000. And calculating that, we get 450,000 centimetres. Now if you consider this, 450,000 centimetres, what is that distance really? It's a bit hard to grasp what sort of distance it is, isn't it? So we can change that by dividing by 100. We can convert that to metres, so 4,500 metres, which also then can be written as 4.5 kilometres. So when we write an answer, make sure we're using sensible units. Our second question, a drawing of a plane uses a scale of 1 to 800. If the plane has an actual wingspan of 28 metres, what length on the drawing represents this? Well, this time it's the reverse. We want the drawing length. We're given the real length, which is 28 metres. The factor is 800, but because we're changing from the real length to the drawing length, we're going to divide by 800 in this case. And if we calculate that, we get 0.035 metres. Now that particular measurement, it's probably better to change that to millimetres. All right, changing metres to millimetres is a matter of timesing by 1,000. And when we multiply by 1,000, we get 35 millimetres, which is a much better answer. Excellent. Our third and final question. A house plan shows a room to be 3.6 metres by 2.8 metres. The dimensions of the room on the plan measure 18 millimetres by 14 millimetres. So we're asked what scale is used. So they're our real lengths and they are our drawing lengths. So we can see what they match. The 3.6 metres matches up with the longest side there, the 18 millimetres, and the 2.8 metres matching up with the 14 millimetres. So we need to work out what matches up so we can work the scale. We'll just stick with the first one. Okay, the second one will be the same, but we'll just do the first one. Drawing compared to real life, okay? Drawing compared to real life is 18 millimetres to 3.6 metres. Now the 18 millimetres, we'll just rewrite that. The 3.6 metres, we'll change that to millimetres by timesing by 1,000. So we get 3,600 millimetres. At this stage now they're both in millimetres, so we can think 18 And 3,600, what can break down? How can we divide that? Well, if we divide by 18, 18 divided by 18 is 1, and the 3,600 divided by 18 is 200. So our new scale is 1 to 200. So therefore we say that the scale used is 1 to 200. Another way of writing the same thing is that 1 centimetre represents 2 metres. Terrific! Well, that concludes our lesson. Good luck with your questions.